We are all a part of this paradigm shift that we're experiencing. We are all adapting, evolving right this moment. We're all running faster than we ever thought. And one of the biggest changes that we are experiencing as professionals, as people part of the corporate ecosystem, is the way we're giving interviews. Interviews used to, in earlier times, if you may allow me to say, used to start from a telephonic conversation, move on to maybe giving an online test, and the final showdown would be a one-on-one, in-person, physical interview. People would fly from different parts of the country to a different part of the country to give interviews, even internationally for roles that needed them to do so. But now, all of us have to give interviews online. It is the only option that is left for us. So it becomes important for us to ace this game, to make that impact. I will not take more of your time. I have 7 steps to share with you to make sure that you give that interview in the best mind frame, create an environment which is very conducive for you and the interviewer to have a smooth interview. While preparation, while knowing what you want to say, saying the right things, and technical expertise play their parts, there are a lot of things that contribute to a success of an interview. Now let's start from the very first step, which is the platform that you will be using to give your interview. It is not advisable to just think that you will be interviewed on Zoom, because there are multiple platforms that each and every organization uses. There is AirMeet, there is Google Meet, there is Skype. So it's a good idea to get in touch with your HR, that person who is your one-person contact in the organization, and ask them which exact platform will be used to conduct your interview. Ensure that you sensitize yourself to the platform. Maybe ask a friend of yours, go online, experiment a little, and be convinced that you will be able to use that platform. Think about the glitches that may happen, or if there are certain questions, look up the internet, but become a pro before you go and use that platform for your interview. Number 2 is find that corner in your house, or find that space in your house which has a decent background. So I also had to struggle and find this space so that there is not a lot of distraction happening in the background, so that I can get your attention on me and what I'm trying to say. Similarly, even if your house does not have a lot of space, it's a good idea to find maybe a table and chair setting, put up against a wall so that you have some support and you are good to go. Number 3 is check your internet connection. What happens is that there is a lot of fluctuation in the internet, there is over usage happening, there are sometimes your Wi-Fi fails you. What do you do in that time? The idea is to create a backup, maybe also put on your hotspot, so that if the Wi-Fi connection fails, your hotspot can act as the Wi-Fi and ensure that there is not a lot of lag in your communication. Every time that there is a challenge while you're giving your interview, it completely moves you away from what you're thinking, and to get back to the same page for you and for your interviewer is a big challenge. So ensure that your Wi-Fi is taken care of. Number 4, inform your family and friends that you will be going through this interview process, and you would need them to be silent, not calling you, not alerting you for anything during that time. Since you're at home, there is a high chance that there is something that goes wrong in your house, and that's where your attention is needed. If it is not something that is very fatal in nature, can be taken care of without your presence, tell your family members to alert you later and not panic in front of you, because sometimes the smallest of things cause us to panic, And if that is not something that needed your immediate attention, you might just feel that that could be taken care of. If you communicate this to your family beforehand, they would know when to alert you and when to not disturb you. Number 5 is keep your pen, paper, stationery ready. Keep a copy of your resume on your table or the desk that you will be using, because when somebody asks you this question, run me through your CV, usually in the case of a physical interview, you have a copy of your CV handy. But sometimes we take the online interviews for granted and we forget just because we are in our own home setting, we forget to do the usual stuff. So it's a good idea to create a checklist of sorts. If you need to take certain notes, if you want to take certain pointers at the end of it, it's a good idea to just have your CV, a pen and a paper, which you would have had in the usual case. The next and the most important thing is how you dress. It is very important how you dress, how you represent yourself. Remember, your body and your body language never lies. So if your brain and your mind knows that you are underdressed, you are bound to show that off in an interview unless you are a pro at faking it. Good idea is to dress the way you would have dressed for a one-on-one physical interview. It makes you look very credible. It makes you show that you are very serious about that opportunity. It makes you feel the part as well. Looking the part is one thing, feeling the part is a different thing. So if you're already geared up and wearing just the right stuff, and you know that this is the best you could have dressed, you already feel confident and you exude that confidence during the interview. Another important thing is that you sensitize yourself to the camera. Usually when we go and meet someone, we go and have a one-on-one interaction, we know the person sitting in front of us, and we get all in the mood and set for giving the interview. But what about when you are talking to the person through a channel, which is the digital channel? It is important that you know where to look in the camera, know the frame that needs to be seen. Are your hands being seen? Is your face zoomed in? End of the day, it's already become a difficult task for a person to understand your vibe. And if your camera angle is not clear, it becomes even more difficult for the person to look into your eyes, have a good eye contact and understand what you're really made up of. Ensure that you are online at least 15 minutes before time. There can be no excuse for being late for an online interview while you're sitting at home. It's a good idea to get online early and do a test run to see that everything is in place and you're set for the interview. I hope if you keep all of these things in mind, it will become a very smooth interview experience for all of you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. I will be coming in with more and more such videos that could help us all get through this time better. Thank you.